Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Bree, and this is the Big Green Couch Podcast. All right, so today we have Diamond Nurse, who is our amazing special guest on our podcast today. She's going to be focusing on a discussion about International Women's Day. Of course, we are right here in the thick of Black History Month, so we just want to get to know her. She's a powerful leader in the community of Charlotte and beyond, and we are so appreciative of having her join us on the Big Green Couch Podcast to learn about what she does in the community, but to also inspire and empower women who watch our YouTube channel. And if you are a subscriber of our YouTube channel, make sure you like, comment, and share this video so that you can share with someone else in your community, whether it's a friend, a relative, so they can be inspired too by the words that she shared with us today. So really quick, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you Bree, for having me.
Thank you. I did a little research. You got to do your research on your guest. So you are a founder of a social media group, a digital media expert, an investor, an entrepreneur, a mom, a wife. I mean, she has many hats. She wears many hats. So just tell us a little bit about all of the things that you do.
Yes. Well, first, I want to say thank you so much, Bree, for having me today. I'm so excited to be here on the podcast and can't wait for our conversation. But I always like to tell people, like, I'm originally from Chicago, and so I've been here in Charlotte for 10 years, and I would say Charlotte has welcomed me with open arms. I always tell people that it's such a great place to be an entrepreneur. My husband and I, we've been married for 10 years, hence me being in Charlotte for 10 years.
Well, congrats on 10 years.
Yes, it'll be 10 years this year. And we have 2 baby girls, a 2-year-old and 5-year-old. So like you mentioned, life is busy and life is crazy. And so I am the founder and owner of Diamond Mind Social Media Group, digital marketing agency, where we literally, what it sounds like, we help build businesses and brands online, building their social media presence. And we've worked with big businesses, right? We work with Google, we work with Fifth Third Bank, Atrium, Novant Health, Red Cross, like all the big brands you can think of, not all of them, but many big brands that you can think of. And then also a slew of small businesses, which that's where really my passion comes with helping small businesses to grow their brand online. So I've had my agency for 8 years. It's actually 8 years this March, Women's History Month.
Well, that's awesome.
And my birthday month, anniversary. So it's like March
is a big deal. A big deal.
So I'll be going on 8 years with my agency, and just super proud of just where we come. I have a team of people. We're constantly growing. We work with some major brands, and just excited to continue to grow and give back to the community. We offer internships to young aspiring people, especially wanting to get into the social media world. And we are truly a social media forward agency, and we partner with other agencies like PR firms and brand agencies and things like that, but true social media. And there is a difference. And so I look forward to kind of digging into that as well. My husband and I also, we do networking events. And so like you mentioned, like, we are pillars in the community. One thing that just at the core of who I am is being a connector. And so when I moved here to Charlotte, I said that I want to bring people together because it's so many transplants that live here. So we're all looking for family. We're all looking for community and ways to get involved. And so my husband and I, we do monthly networking events, and then we also give back to the community. So whenever we'll do like clothing drives, toy drives over Christmas, and different things of that nature, collecting funds and donating everything from scholarship funds to items and materials to give back. So that's something that's we're passionate about.
I love that. And so just a little nugget I took away from that. So big sisters, mentors, listeners, viewers, if you are about building your brand on social platforms, Diamond Nurse, okay? Come back to this video. She'll share her information towards the end, but she's letting you know, hey, I'm here to help you push your brand, elevate your brand through any social media platform that you have. So that's awesome. And just to kind of change up just a little bit, of course, big brothers, big sisters, we're all about mentorship. We're all about empowering youth, empowering potential in youth in our community, allowing children to blossom through mentorship, finding that adult, that positive adult, to come in and say, hey, let me help you along the way. So I want to take a moment just to talk about, where you started, if you've had any type of mentorship experience. And I think, ladies, this is important too, we'll talk about your board of directors, right? That was something that I learned along my careers, building your board of directors. So tell us a little bit about your experience with mentorship, whether you being a mentor or having a mentor growing up through college or whatever that may be.
Absolutely. I always say if it wasn't for mentorship, I wouldn't be to where I am today. Mentors just give you an opportunity like of experience and open doors. So
Yeah.
I can remember starting back when I was in grade school. I think I say grammar school, but I think here is
Right.
elementary, grade
Elementary.
school.
Yep.
But just back when I was young and just having like, and my mother really started off as like a mentor to me, and we would always kind of do our positive affirmations and just kind of really speak life into anything that we're doing. And then as I got older and just more experience, and she would put me in different opportunities and things like that, it's like I learned the power of networking and the power of mentorship. Just helping you to navigate life, even going to college. I wasn't sure what degree I wanted. I just knew that, maybe business school was like the best way to go. Like, okay, let's do business. And then I found deeper, like, oh, there's communications, there's social media, there's integrated marketing, so many different facets to business and not just that one path of that you think that So mentorship has been a pillar in my life. And then as I got older, I actually started right out of college a mentorship organization in Chicago. Yes, it's no longer active, but me and a couple of my friends, the power of mentorship for us, we knew how powerful that was. And so we wanted to give back to the young girls in the community and help them to help, pave the way and shape a way for their future. So mentorship is just a part of everything that I do, even today. And learning, like, in mentorship, like you mentioned, board of directors, there's sponsors, there's mentors in your career and different things of that. So you need a mentor in marriage.
I mean, yes.
Mentor in motherhood. Yes. And even that's what I try to be, a mentor in motherhood, because motherhood can be such a challenge, and like things that we don't really talk about.
Right.
Like you go through things that moms won't talk about, and then you go through it and you're like, well, why didn't you tell me? You're like, well, I didn't think about it, because it's so much.
Yes.
And so I try to give like that real conversation to moms to let them know, like, this is what to expect and this is normal and it's okay to talk about it.
And that's funny you mention that, not to shift, but I read something recently that said that, we always talk about children needing their villages, but parents need a village too, right? So you touched on that a little bit. So that's what I thought about. So your board of directors, do you have some women, some powerful women, some leaders that paved the way for you in your life that kind of helped you with, your success?
Yes, absolutely. So one of my first mentors I could think about that helped pave the way is back when I was working at my first job at the city of Chicago. And one of my mentors, it's okay,
oh yeah.
Okay, one of my
give
mentors,
her flowers.
Yes, give her flowers.
Flowers, yes.
One of my mentors, Mary Ellen Karen, she's actually the CEO of After School Matters. But at the time when I met her, she was a deputy commissioner at the city of Chicago. And so that's kind of like working under like the mayor and different things like that. So just kind of like a higher up. And she took me under her mentorship wing. It was a funny story. I was pretty new to my role, and I was on high visible projects. I was a project manager, and she kept hearing my name come through her office. And one of the things that I asked when I first came on, I was like, well, I'm getting my master's degree and I'm going to need a month off of work. 10 months into my job. So I know I'm not going to have enough PTO, but I want to like see how we can figure this out, because in graduate school, we were taking a trip to Asia. So we're going to China, Shanghai, China, Tokyo, Japan, and South Korea. And so she's like, okay, I have to see, who is this diamond person? Right. First, you coming in, you're working on this high visible project. Then you're trying to ask for time off. You first got your job. Who is this person? Yeah. So when I met her, she just like literally took me under her wings and just really helped me to navigate my way in the city. And she also told me that she sees so much more to me and helped me to encourage me to like really dive into my skill set of just like being a connector and being a people person and getting out there. So she's still really a very valuable person to me today, and we stay connected.
I love that. And hopefully she'll get a chance to hear this interview and be inspired again, or feel, she got her flowers. So that's awesome. Thank you for the work that you do in Chicago. I love that. So who outside of the women that have contributed to your success, how do you feel that you have poured into women? And there may be a person out here that's like, Diamond has actually been my mentor and she doesn't know it. But outside of that, how do you feel that you've poured back into women in your own community and beyond, or through social media, through digital platforms? How do you feel that you've poured back into the community?
So some ways I feel that I pour back in the community, and I want to say it's multifaceted, right? So to your point, I am like very authentic, sharing stories on my personal social media. I like to call myself like a micro mom influencer, because I told you how motherhood is so important to me and sharing those stories. So I'm sharing like, hey, you can have a good time with your husband. You can go on date nights. You can take your children
Yeah.
with you on a trip. You can take them to a fancy restaurant, get dressed up, and make it fun. And just
Mm.
talking about some of the challenges that comes with doing that and just keeping it real. So I
Yeah.
feel like I probably am mentoring a lot of people and don't even know through like
Mhm.
my social media platform. And so it's
Mhm.
important that I keep an authentic voice
Right.
with that, and just also a level of vulnerability. I
Mhm.
just like to share, and I always welcome people to send me a message, like
Right.
send me a direct message. If you have questions, I'm happy to talk to you about it. Another way is that in sitting on panels or doing podcasts like this and things where people can
Mhm.
hear my voice and I get to meet new people
Mhm.
and and just step out and don't even know who I might be affecting.
Right.
Like one thing for me is like I have such a busy schedule, and so I'm currently not in a space where I am like having one-on-one mentorship, but I am
Mhm.
also for like I mentioned earlier, I have internship opportunities for
Nice.
young like usually like right out of college or like
Okay.
senior year in college,
Mhm.
having them come in through my company and they get the opportunity to work with the team and also have
Nice.
one-on-one time with me. So that's one way that I'm able to like give back through mentorship. And
Mhm.
then also with my husband and I, events that we do and networking, I get the
Mhm.
opportunity to meet with people there. So I always try to
Nice.
make time
Yeah.
whenever I'm like doing an event or even through my work to sit down and have
Yeah.
one-on-one time. But I am 100% open when people reach out to me, and I will make time on my calendar to connect with you like 30 minutes and get some time. So I really have open door, but my
Yeah.
calendar is pretty booked, but I do make the
No.
time to do
And
that.
and that's life is lifing,
Yeah.
right? It's happening for everybody. So definitely understand that. And so now I want to discuss a little bit about, International Women's Day is coming up March 8th. And it's all about celebrating the achievements of women, inclusivity, making sure gender equality through all facets, right? Pay, opportunity on the job, all of those things. So, one thing that I think is important is, yes, to talk about the successes, right? But were there some hills you had to climb, right? So, if there has ever been a moment in your life where you were in a male dominant space, for the ladies who may be the only VP on the job, who may be the only woman in the room, what can you share, whether it be a personal story you've experienced, or if there's tips or advice you can give to a woman that may be in a situation where, like, I feel like, I'm the only person in the room, I'm not being seen, I'm not being heard. How can you give them some advice, or what advice can you give them with those challenges?
Mm-hmm. That's a big one, Bree. That's a tough one. And I know to your point, like, many people have challenges of being like the only one, if
Yeah,
it's the color of your skin, if it's your gender,
yeah.
or whatever the case may be. Me personally, I am very much like, I am a people person. I'm the person who kind of take things head on. So if I feel there's like
Mm-hmm.
challenges in energy or I'm like, hey, I've noticed that there's some energy going on here. Can we
Right.
can we talk
For
about it?
sure, yeah.
But I will say, that is one of the reasons that I actually started my business.
Mm,
I started out in corporate America. So I worked for the city of Chicago. Then I went over to work in corporate.
mm-hmm.
And I noticed that it felt very much like, I'm going to just say, like a good old boys club. And it
Got
wasn't
you.
something that I was prepared. Like I wasn't mentored through that space in a younger age and saying like
Mm-hmm.
what to prepare for.
Mm-hmm.
And like I mentioned, I'm a person like I want to give a hug. I like to smile.
Yeah, yeah.
Then so but I'm also the type of person who when there's a challenge, I want to immerse myself into it. Like
Love it.
what can I learn? How can
Yeah.
I turn this challenge into an opportunity? And so what I did
Mm.
was, when there were challenging times, especially in corporate America, I got an executive coach. And so
Love
I
it.
would say, okay, what coaching do I need so that I can find my way,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe in like conforming to what other people are doing or finding that flow, but like how can you find your way and make your own path? And
Right.
I think that that's through coaching and that's through mentorship. And so
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing to do is like when you find yourself in a challenge is like talk to a mentor, talk to a sponsor, someone who can just really get behind you and support you, and they really will let you know kind of like the real of
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
right? It's not just like, oh, you're right, but it's like, here's an area of
yeah.
opportunity for you. Here, maybe you should go this path, because I always believe that when something happens, it's nudging you. Like, in my faith, I'm like, something's nudging you, like you need to make a
Yeah,
change,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is it a different career path? Is it
Mm.
pushing you to like what your true purpose is?
Mm.
Is it a different role? Is it a different company? Is it starting
Right.
your own thing? Right. So, like, everything has purpose. And so, if you really lean into what's going on in that why,
Yeah.
then you can find your way. But you can't do that without your coach or without your mentor.
Love that. Love that. And so I hear this all the time, taking up space. And I think that that's something that is amazing, a beautiful thing to state, especially in when it's in a positive sense, right? So when you hear take up spaces, taking up space, What does that feel like to you? What does that mean to you?
Mm-hmm.
For anybody that's never heard that, how can we empower women to take up space in anything that they do?
Yeah, yeah. So I would say my whole being empowers, embodies taking up space. Right, started with my name. Diamond is such a powerful name.
Yeah.
Right, so when I walk into a room, like ever since I was young, I've always been like a showstopper. Like come in, like people want to lean in and listen to what I have to say.
Yeah.
And so what that means to me for other people is like you have something to say and it's important.
Right.
Lean into that. Like don't just stand in the background. Sit in the front of the classroom. You know, raise your hand, make a note in a meeting, ask a question. One thing that I always hear my husband saying, he's actually a career coach. He's telling my 6-year-old, he's like, always ask questions.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the things that we can do. There, power in education, power in knowledge, and it's something that we know and we hear it all the time. But if you ask questions, like if you're in corporate America, you're on like a 200-person meeting, ask a question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get your name out there. Put your idea out there. There is purpose, there is space, and don't be afraid of no. I think so often we are afraid. Fear just really stops us from what we're doing. Yeah. But if you can just put it out there, who cares if it says no? Yeah. It's out there. Yeah. Your name is out there. Just like I told you, like I got one of my mentors because my name kept coming across her desk, and it wasn't always just positive. It's like, who is this trying to take off work before you even started? Right. And you want to get paid. Yeah. I was asking to get paid. Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Because I deserve.
Right. You know what your worth is. I love that. So we're taking up space. And one thing I do want to say is for littles that are watching this, little sisters that are watching this, that moment right there that you just heard, you can take up space in the classroom with your academics, getting good grades, being a voice in your classroom, doing different elective stuff, whether it's joining a student board, or you can take up space in the classroom. You can take up space on the sports team. So always remember that you matter. Your voice matters. You are powerful, and you can do anything. That's what I'm getting from this conversation, that I can take up space and do anything that I put my mind to. So always remember that if you are watching this conversation right now. Okay, so now we want to talk about how can women support other women. Even this month, we're right in the, like I said, the thick of Black History Month, but we also are running right into International Women's Day. So how do you think we as women can support each other this month and going into the next?
Yeah, absolutely. This is like literally my favorite time of year, Black History Month. But first, let's just say Black History is every day, 365.
Every
right?
day, y'all.
every single day. We can support. But I'm gonna take it to social media. Like then it doesn't cost anything for you to share, like, or comment. When you see a small business, when you see a friend who's wanting to start a business, if you know, think about supporting Black first. Think about supporting women first. And that's something that I do. Like if I'm doing something as small as a birthday party for my daughter. Okay, who can set up this balloon for me? You know, let me try to find a Black woman. Let me a Black business, or let me find a woman-owned business. Like those are just like, that's just my thought process. And it just has to be that way. That's just what it is, right? Because we don't see, you know, a lot of times small businesses don't have the SEO dollars, you know, to really put their name at the top of Google when you're searching and things like that. So the power of social media, social media is so powerful because you can do that. Right. You can talk about your business and things like that. So I think the best thing you can do during this time and every day is to share, like, and comment. And that helps to amplify their voices through social media. And they can reach so many more people when they know that it's of interest, right? It's like an algorithm thing, which we can get into that.
Whole nother conversation. Understand that. So we have, like I said, we're rolling right into our International Women's Day. And of course, we are celebrating, we're having a brunch that's coming up on March the 8th. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Central Carolinas will be hosting International Women's Day brunch on March the 8th at Sycamore Brewing at 9 a.m. And the lovely Diamond has been invited to join us for that. And so outside of people attending that brunch, what are some other ways that women can show up, whether it's social media or just show up and just represent all women on that day? What does that look like? What does that day look like to you? Or what does that day feel like or mean to you?
Yeah. I'm just getting chills even thinking about International Women's Day, because it's so amazing that we get to see so many women from all walks of life come and support one another. And you also, like, get support through allyship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think that it's asking questions like we talked about before,
Mm-hmm.
getting curiosity. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
we want to see equal pay, but just like amplifying those voices and putting yourself in front of opportunities like this
Mm-hmm.
and coming together to brunches and
Yeah.
things like that,
Yeah.
because we're just better together. So anytime where you can learn more,
Mm-hmm.
get yourself to learn more, meet someone new,
Yeah.
and then of course like share their
Yeah.
stories online, talk to another person, meet someone new who you may have not met
Mm-hmm.
before, and build that connection and building upon community, because community is the foundation of it all.
Yes. And so how can you encourage listeners beyond International Women's Day? What can you say to encourage listeners after hearing all that you have shared to step up and, support and walk in their purpose? What are some things you want to leave them with today so they can feel empowered once they close this out and say, yes, like Diamond just set me up for success. She put a battery in my back. What is something that you can leave with us today to kind of continue to empower us as women to be the best that we can be?
Yeah, I love that. Okay, first I want to just say one line that's my favorite thing to say for International Women's Day, and then
Yes, go ahead, girl. Give it to us.
Okay, so one thing that I think about during Women's History Month,
Yeah.
but International Women's Day, is
Yeah.
that being woman is your superpower. So that's something that I always tell myself. I even tell my daughters. I'm like, yes, it is your superpower. Woman is superpower. So.
Yes, I love that. And like I just said, we need a shirt. So I don't know if Diamond plans to, but I'm just throwing that out there that needs to be on a shirt. I love that. And so I guess, assume that would be something that you can leave with women, is that, you have superpowers. You have those superpowers. And I feel that, for the moms out there that need to be empowered, or they may be feeling low right now, I hope this conversation with Diamond has empowered you, motivated you, inspired you to be the best mom that you can be in spite of, right? Whatever it is that you're dealing with or going through, you can be the best you can be. You are a superwoman. You can do all things. Nothing is impossible for you. Like we said before, children need their village, but moms, you need your village too. So building that board of directors, finding those people that are in your corner that can support you, guide you, pray, cover you, whatever that looks like. And we want to make sure that you take that away from this conversation, is that you can do all things. All right. So, Diamond, let us know how we can stay connected to you. If there's anything coming up in your world that women can be a part of, let us know how we can support, connect with you.
Absolutely. So of course, you can follow me on social media. That's diamond.nurse on all platforms. Instagram is my favorite platform. So you can follow me there. Again, at diamond.nurse. And that's where you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, I think on Twitter too, or X. Well, even on TikTok. I do want to add one last thing about, I would say what I want to leave everyone with today is do it scared. Fear is inevitable, but also have courage, and just remember, you can't have courage without fear. And fear is just all a part of what we do, but keep propelling forward no matter what. Do it scared.
Do it scared, guys. Even though that sounds scary, listening to it, I'm like, oh, do it scared. I hear you. So yes, do it scared. Take that leap, whatever that looks like. Take that leap. Again, thank you, Diamond. I've enjoyed this conversation. No matter where you're listening to this, make sure, again, you like, you comment, you share, you go follow Diamond so you can stay connected to her. Again, if you need a powerful message or something from her, go connect with her on social media. If you need to boost your brand, go connect with her on social media. And yeah, we are so excited about International Women's Day. If you are attending International Women's Day, we are so excited to see you. Again, that is on Friday, March 8th. We hope every woman in the world feels empowered today through this conversation. We appreciate you for watching. Thank you again, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.